This week, the top of the world highway into Chicken, Alaska, the cutest little town I think we've ever visited. But we actually are entering Alaska on this leg of our Baja to Alaska adventure, plus some great holiday roads and destinations for you RVers out there. This is RV Miles.
This winter, LL Bean wants to help you feel great out there with gear tips and advice for heading outdoors and exploring all the possibilities of the season. Now that it's getting cold out, layering up for warmth is more important than ever. If you're doing something active like snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, or hiking, a good rule of thumb is to start out dressed like it's 10 degrees warmer than it is. So once you start generating body heat, you won't get overly hot. Then layer up or down as conditions require. For more tips, easy how-tos, and inspiring stories, visit llbean.com/guide.
Welcome to episode number 299 of RV Miles. I'm Jason.
And I'm Abby, and we are two RVers who, along with our three boys, Jack, Ethan, and Henry, have been crisscrossing North America on one epic road trip since 2016. Here at RV Miles, we talk all things RV and outdoors, from industry news to travel destinations, our national parks, and so much more.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas around here. There is snow on the ground for the first time, and I'll get to that a little bit more in my fresh tank. But we thought this would be a great time to start an episode out with talking about some holiday destinations for RVers. So not all of us are very keen on going out in our RVs when it's cold, but there are many warm places out there, and there are lots of people that do like to brave the cold in their RV, even if they can't use some of the plumbing.
Absolutely. And this is a really festive time of year, no matter how you celebrate as we start to close out 2023. So I'm really excited to talk about some of these locations because I think maybe we need to visit one or two of these next year. And in fact, we have some friends who are spending Christmas in one of these destinations as well.
We do. Both of these articles that these are coming from are on the RV Trader website. RV Trader is a great place to find used RVs and new RVs listings. It's basically the listing central place for RV sales on the internet. There's really nothing in comparison anymore. And we'll share both of these in the description. So if you want to check them out, we're not going to share all of the destinations that are on here. We're just going to pick a few. So this first article is 5 of the most festive holiday roads in America. And the first one is 34th Street in Baltimore, Maryland. And this is how they describe it. Miracle on 34th Street is a bona fide classic for Christmas movies and the name of the seasonal event in Baltimore, inviting everyone to an ongoing block party with a lighting parade, holiday performers, and special vendors. Located in the Hampton neighborhood, 34th Street is aglow with light displays and adorned with creative decorations like a Christmas tree made out of hubcaps and a Hanukkah house. Park your RV nearby and bring along your family for the annual tradition, now in its 74th year. You shared a reel the other day on our Wandering Family social media about our visit to sort of the downtown Christmas tree lighting in Moline, Illinois.
Yes. Are you about to start talking about my fresh tank, or would you like to wait until we get to the fresh tank?
Well, I was just going to say that somebody commented that they thought only that stuff only happened in Hallmark movies.
Oh, that was Jen. Jenny said we looked like,
Jen?
yeah, she said we looked like we were in a Hallmark movie. And I was like, I don't know if that's a compliment or if that's an insult. As one who devours Hallmark
a lot
movies.
of these feel like they could be on Hallmark movies, except there will probably be more than 8 people in the town square for the Christmas tree lighting.
Yes, absolutely.
And the mayor's address will be televised.
Yes, also. Yes, the governor's Christmas Day address will be televised. It was a recent Hallmark movie. Yeah, that's the thing. There's going to be too many people here, and there is not going to be big town girl, small town guy situation and a Christmas tree lot that needs to be saved. Always something needs to be saved. So the next one on the list is actually one that I have a little bit of regret we didn't drive into Los Angeles to see, and this is Candy Cane Lane. So for any of you doing maybe a California Palm Springs Christmas this year, hanging out for the winter in that area, I mean, consider driving into Candy Cane Lane in Los Angeles. They've been doing this since 1952.
Yeah, it happens on, I'm going to mispronounce this, Lebow and Oxnard streets, illuminating the Woodland Hills subdivision of Los Angeles every year. Houses deck the halls with bright bulbs and magical displays that brighten things up with holiday cheer. Stick around for festive events, which include an appearance by Santa and carolers singing Christmas classics. So it's there's some warmth. It doesn't have to be a cold place.
You had me at Christmas carolers. That's the thing I think that is missing from the bulk of holiday festivities, like just carolers in general. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas songs. There are lots of wonderful holiday songs out there that don't have anything to do with Christmas. And I think like that's always what's missing, because I want to get up there and sing with them. Like I want the little booklet, that they hold, and maybe put a little bonnet on me. Basically, I just want to be in a Dickens Christmas.
I don't know if you know, but I did that one year.
Oh, of course you did.
Like legitimately. So when I was doing community theater here, we the theater, Quad City Music Guild, we went and we did caroling as like fundraisers. So we were like going to the mall and going to different places. And there was like 8 of us or so, and I had
what part did you sing?
I was wearing bass.
Oh, okay.
I was wearing a silver tuxedo and top hat. Silver tails and a top hat.
Where are the photos?
I don't think there are photos.
Oh, there are photos somewhere out there. I got to get a hold of Quad City Music Guild. Somebody has got something. Do you know if this is still happening? I'm asking for a friend.
I don't know because it was fun. It was actually really fun. The next one is another warm location that you can visit in an RV, December Drive in Santa Claus, Georgia. A fun destination filled with nonstop novelties at this time of year. Santa Claus, Georgia was incorporated in 1941 with an intersection of streets like December Drive, Candy Cane Street, Noel Street, Reindeer Street, and Rudolph Way. Santa Claus City Hall was for part of this planned small town, sitting at 25 December Drive, where you can send postmarked Christmas cards to family and friends. While you visit, check out the Christmas gift shop and museum and peaceful and picturesque chapel decorated with garland and bows for Christmas.
Can you live here? Why hasn't a Hallmark movie taken place in Santa Claus, Georgia?
I don't know. Georgia's got some good tax breaks for filming, so
I know they do.
I assume that's the primary function when Hallmark decides where to go.
Listen, they're like, how cheap can we get these snow machines for this year? So there's a couple more on here. We shouldn't read them out because I know we want to get to this
Christmas
other, but there
towns.
were a couple more places on that list that are drives. So like Jason said, this and what we're about to talk about will be at rvmiles.com/299. Side note, 300 next week,
very
Jay.
Close. We're very close. We got to, we'll have a bit.
We will have to forget about it until 5 minutes before we record, and then we'll try to do something festive for it.
So this next article it's on RV Trader's website, but actually comes from the folks at FMCA, our good friends for a long time with the podcast, Family Motor Coach Association. It's a great organization for RVers to be involved with. If you just want to become a member just for their emergency evacuation service, we always recommend that, because your $70 a year, I think, is their membership rate, and it includes emergency evacuation insurance, which will get you out of the middle of nowhere if you are injured or something way out beyond ambulance service, right? A helivac helicopter can cost you like $30,000.
Yes.
So $70 a year is a good trade-off.
Yes, it is. So take it from us. It's a wonderful service to have if you're out on the road.
So the first town on this list, this is a list of the 10 best Christmas towns in the USA for travelers. The first town I want to mention here is Leavenworth, Washington.
Yes, that's where our friends Jamie and Clay are currently spending their winter. And in fact, they're sharing a ton of stuff over there right now about Leavenworth and Christmastown. And you can go see it over at Getting Out of Normal. We will put that in the show notes as well, so you can go over and see what they're up to. It looks so festive.
Apparently, it's very Bavarian.
Yes.
And you've got lots of lights and lots of smells and carolers and mountain views with snow.
We are going for sure in the future. This is right up my alley.
Next up is Oldenburg, Indiana.
Okay. Hey, that's not far from us, maybe.
Established in the early 1800s, this German village is the perfect place to grab a bite to eat and shop. It's closed for most of the year, but opens for visitors during the summertime and holiday season. Oldenburg has reindeer, breweries, breakfast with Santa, and more.
Oh, we should see how far that is from us. Go up there for the day. That would be so much fun.
Anywhere in Indiana, we would probably have to overnight, but
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with
We'll
that.
take the RV. We can do overnight in the RV.
Oh, yeah.
I would. Park City, Utah. We've had friends that have completely wintered in an RV in Park City, Utah. Even though it's very snowy, the weather is somewhat mild compared to where it gets like deeply cold.
Yes.
But it's still obviously it's below freezing because it's a big ski town.
Yes. And if we can talk about deeply cold that's on this list, I do think we cannot get away without mentioning North Pole, Alaska.
Yeah.
And that is on the list.
I don't think we're going to RV to North Pole, Alaska.
No.
No.
I think the North Pole is probably very specific for those who live in Alaska. But having been to North Pole, we visited, and we'll get to talk about that in a future Alaska episode. 100% I could see why you want to go to North Pole, Alaska during the Christmas season.
Another place that a lot of you are probably near if you are wintering in Florida, you can hop on up to St. Augustine.
St. Augustine.
And so their description here is if you aren't somebody who wants a white Christmas, but you still want holiday cheer, head to St. Augustine. They have annual Nights of Lights festivals running nightly through January 28th that boasts impressive luminaires that will transport you to a simpler time. This charming Florida town also offers horse-drawn carriage rides to bring you even more holiday cheer.
And is only missing carolers and Jason in a silver suit. That's all it's missing there in Florida.
When I say silver, I mean like reflective.
It's like the stuff that we put in our windows in the summertime.
It was like silk. It was like silk silver.
Oh man, I bet you felt so fancy and so dapper. You did. How old are you?
Oh, like 19.
I totally thought you were going to be like, 15, 14.
No. I was involved there when I was like 18 and 19.
So right before you moved to Chicago then?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. There's got to be pictures. I know there's pictures out there. I'm going to find them.
No, everybody didn't have a digital camera.
It's probably on some disposable camera, like sitting in somebody's junk drawer that's never been developed.
So we'll share both of those articles in the show notes and in the description as well. Let's shift gears here. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to continue on our Baja to Alaska journey. And we are finally entering Alaska in this episode. We are going to travel the top of the world highway that takes you from Dawson City, Yukon, into Alaska, across the border, and then on to the little quaint town of Chicken and beyond.
And as long as it has taken all of us here on the podcast to get to Alaska, that's pretty much how long it felt for us to actually get to Alaska.
We'll be right back.
Be right back.
This episode is sponsored by the Park Wolf app. Ever found yourself in the heart of a national park, surrounded by beauty, but unsure where to go or what to see? That's where Park Wolf comes in. Park Wolf is the ultimate app for exploring national parks. As you drive, the GPS shows you what's coming up on the road, and an audio guide will fill you in on what's there so you can decide if it's worth a stop for you or not. Gas running low, looking for a bite to eat or a bathroom break? Park Wolf's got you covered. It keeps track of the nearest gas station, restrooms, food, and pullover areas. And the best part, it works without an internet connection. And if you're a wildlife enthusiast, you'll love Park Wolf's wildlife maps and sighting notifications. So before you set off on your next national park adventure, download the Park Wolf app for your iPhone from the App Store. It's your ultimate guide to national parks.
Chances are you've seen them on the road.
That's because Blue Ox designs and manufactures the best towing products in the industry. Just look around. You'll find them on highways and campgrounds and anywhere you find people traveling in the great outdoors. Award-winning tow bars, base plates, and brakes, a full line of weight-distributing hitches, adjustable ball mounts, and a new line of fifth-wheel hitches. With Blue Ox, towing doesn't have to be a drag. To learn more about how Blue Ox can make your travel adventures even more stress-free, visit blueox.com.
Okay, we are back, and let's begin this discussion here. We're talking about the Top of the World Highway. So the Top of the World Highway is 79 miles of mostly gravel road, and this began where we talked in that last episode that we did about Dawson City. This began in West Dawson City, across the river. Had to take a ferry to get over here. And this is really where Top of the World Highway begins. So you will have to put your RV on a ferry if you want to do this. And again, it is mostly gravel. Now, that said, the gravel is very good for the most part. And then when you cross into the US, you get this wonderful paved road for a while. But unfortunately, it finishes out with one of the worst sections of road that we ever were on this entire journey.
What's really interesting about this particular leg is if you heard us talk about crossing into Canada when we had met the border agent there, and he was giving us some advice about going up to Alaska. Well, one of the things he said was, in essence, you're crazy if you do Top of the World.
Yeah.
Like, he was very much against us doing it.
Yeah.
And I was nervous.
Yeah.
Because I thought, well, we're being told not to do this. This is going to be really bad. But like every other road we encountered, for the most part, except for this 27 miles we're going to talk about briefly, it just never panned out to be as awful as everyone made it out to be.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's a blessing, maybe because they, really set us up to think that this was going to be atrocious.
But that section was atrocious. I mean, I think that was the one place, just that section, that lived up to some of the hype. But
Destruction Bay got real close.
Right, which is the other way. So don't think that like there's like
you're not gonna miss it.
The main route that everybody takes was the one that was also nearly as bad. But if you went slow, it was okay.
It was fine. Well, it was manageable. So we had before we crossed into Alaska the night before, we stayed at this gorgeous boondocking spot.
Oh my gosh.
Off of the highway.
The Top of the World Highway, it's called Top of the World because it really feels like you're on top of the world. It really rides the ridges and tops of sort of hills and smaller mountains, and you get just this gorgeous view of the Alaska Range. There were very few people at all on this road. We were still early season a bit, and once we parked at a pull-off for overnight, great, huge pull-off, we didn't see that many vehicles go by us.
No.
And we really felt like alone in the middle of nowhere with just these 360 views of just gorgeousness.
Just stunning. We were able to work. What we did was we came in later in the day. We stayed through the work day. The next day we had absolutely fine Starlink, and we took off and we headed for the border. And when we got to the border, it was very fine, very easy to cross in. Didn't really take that long. Everybody was very nice.
A sign on the door that was like, "Yes, we live here all year." Like they're like answering like the questions that people always ask.
Yes.
Because this border crossing actually closes for obviously the colder months out of the year. For most of the year, Top of the World Highway is only open in the summer, but there are a couple border agents on both the Canadian side and the American side that live there.
And you don't hit like a major city. I mean, they are sandwiched between Dawson City and Tok. And neither one of those are like oh no, we're out of milk, I'm just going to run to the store really quick.
No,
you don't run to the store. You hope you have a cow out back because that's the quickest way you're going to get milk. So this was really fascinating. We chatted with them. They were very nice. We get in, we go through. Nobody came aboard. We didn't do anything like that. We cross and it's like beautiful blacktop.
Oh, it's wonderful, amazing blacktop. There's a stop there with a welcome to Alaska sign, great for taking pictures and whatever. and beautiful views. And the drive is just on this wonderful blacktop.
And I was driving this day.
Yeah.
So this was the first time I had driven a border crossing, and I wanted to do it.
And you're thinking like, oh yeah, USA,
Yes,
here we go.
USA. We cross and it's like, yes, look at this beautiful road. Oh, go America, go. And we're driving and it's like 2 miles and then ka-junk.
It's a little more than that. I think there was probably like 15 miles
Maybe.
of it or so. And
I don't even think it was that. It wasn't nearly as long as you wanted it to be. And all of a sudden it's ka-junk. And then the whole 27 remaining miles. And it's very twisty and kind of turny as you're going. And so, sometimes with these washboard roads, if you can kind of get up to speed a little bit, you can kind of pull back on all of the shake, rattle, and roll. Wasn't possible really because of the way that the road was designed. And I remember when we pulled into Chicken, I just thought that was the longest drive of my life.
To give you some context, this is why we keep saying that we think that like the people who are traveling quicker are the ones that are getting damaged into the rigs. This overall journey between Dawson City and Chicken was 100 miles, and we took 2 days to do it.
Yeah.
We didn't need 2 days to do it, but like we went slow.
The 27 miles.
That took a while.
That
took, I think, 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours, I think. I mean, it felt like it took 12.
Yeah.
So when we pulled into, and you all have heard us, we're not going to go too much into Chicken here because this will be like the third time we have just waxed poetic.
It was our fresh tank it was your fresh tank when we were there, and we talked about it on the episode with Jamie and Clay as one of our favorite spots. I do want to give a little backstory about Chicken because we haven't done that before. So the town of Chicken, it was intended to be named Ptarmigan because there are lots of ptarmigans in the area. Ptarmigans are the Alaska state bird. But the miners who settled there couldn't agree on how to spell ptarmigan. So they settled on Chicken. There weren't any chickens there. It has nothing to do with actual chickens, but that's why they ended up calling it Chicken.
Can you imagine if you were the miner trying to convince everybody else that there's a P in front of that T? And you're like, no, guys, seriously. I promise you this is how we spell it. And they're just like, Bob, just go. Just go, Bob. You're banned from what we're now going to call Chicken.
The town of Chicken has a population of 21 people in the summer. And 6 in the winter. It is a very, very small place. They get their mail twice a week via plane. They have no trash service at all. They have to drive their trash many, many miles. So you're not going to find a place here where you're not going to find a dump station. You're not going to be able to fill your water, and you're not going to be able to empty your trash here.
Yes, take your trash with you. Yes. Take it with you. Do them a favor.
But we stayed in the parking lot, in the back sort of parking lot area of the Chicken Creek Saloon, which is sort of a little old Western downtown looking thing where it is a tiny saloon next to a tiny cafe, and then on the other side of it is a tiny gift shop, and they have like a $6 gas pump out front. And when we were there, one person was walking back and forth basically and dealing with all of it except for the cafe part.
The bartender. Was the bartender.
That's pretty much it. Now the saloon is kind of the thing that people go there to hang out.
Put their underwear on the ceiling.
For some reason, you staple your underwear to the ceiling. But there is across the street some like old mining equipment. There's a historic dredge that you can see, big, huge historic dredge.
You have to pay for it to tour it. It's part of, I think, the campground. That is not. No. Oh, okay. There is now, if you are wanting more of a campground setup, because beware that over at the saloon, it's very, very limited parking and nothing big is getting in there.
We were kind of a little big for it.
Oh, we were big and Jamie and Clay were big.
Yeah. Like, it was tough for us to all get in there. So the campground across the street you can stay at. I think they also operate a fuel pump as well.
And they have a little cafe and a little gift shop. And we walked over there. There's a big chicken over there
really
too.
Cool big metal chicken.
Take your picture with the big metal chicken. That's
this
a hot
campground
spot.
is is also no. I mean, you're paying to stay the night for no hookups.
Yes.
I think they do have electricity that they can turn on when they have the music festival. There's
Chicken stock.
There's chicken stock happens
So good.
at this campground. They've got a stage that's made up of like two flatbed trucks backed up against each other. And they have this big music festival there every year. And I think they might turn on some electricity via generator during that, because there are lots of outlets out in the outer area. But the main campground does not have electricity, water, none of it. They do have showers and bathhouses.
Yes, they do have an on-site shower and bathhouse that you can utilize. But if you're just going through for the night and you can get over into the saloon, we highly recommend going into the saloon. And I gotta highly recommend those lemon drop martinis over there. I mean, that bartender, he was solid. He was just a young man from like Southern California, I think San Diego. He was at the university there, and he just wanted something adventurous for the summer. And he was like, well, finally, Chicken Saloon is hiring. I've been trying to get a job here forever. Why not go to Alaska? So
it is. They have a surprisingly good selection of Alaskan beer too.
It's a solid place. They have an amazing record collection. Like, we played Weezer's Blue album. You can go over there. They had Liza with a Z, y'all. Like, they have everything. They had Metallica. I mean, they had. The record collection was so solid. I kind of want to just like send them a record, like be like, add this to the collection.
I wish we had eaten in the cafe. That's the only thing that we didn't do.
It's pricey.
This place is pricey because obviously for them to get ingredients out there is not easy.
We blew our budget on the drinks the night before. So
pretty much.
We did our part. We said thank you for letting us stay here for free. We just drank it.
We bought lots of souvenirs. Everybody got a t-shirt.
Yes,
basically.
Jason's wearing, if you're watching, or note for the audio, Jason is wearing his Chicken Creek Saloon t-shirt today as we're filming. But this was it was a lot of fun. I
also saw a moose in the parking lot. It's great. Yeah, a mom and a baby. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot. It was so... And I fresh tanked it right after it happened because it was so impactful. It goes down as one of my favorite nights, one of my just sort of favorite moments from all of this. Very similar to the night in Baja where we were staying at Playa Santa Spa and they had music going for Valentine's Day, and we like danced and just sat around and had some drinks, and it was a really fun and relaxed atmosphere. Everyone's just you're in Chicken.
This was also the first place where I think we had lots of conversations with other people there about where we're going and about what the roads are like, which direction we're heading, all this different stuff in Alaska. Everything had been sort of Canadian based up until this point. But
now you start getting the Alaskan intel. Here it goes where everyone starts, like you said, sharing their routes, talking about where they've been. How did you think this road was? So here you go. This is when we really started, I think, to find that RV Alaska community and started to even see people that we had seen in Chicken, we ran into later on down the road. So it was very cool. We did a night there. When we left Chicken, we headed to Tok, Alaska, which ended up being just a one-night stop.
Tok is where you're going to end up if you come in on the Alaska Highway. So this is sort of where these two routes kind of will merge, and a lot of people will stop in Tok to sort of refuel, dump and fill, get groceries, all that sort of stuff. Not too special of a town, sorry, folks of Tok, in terms of like scenery or anything like that. Smallish still, but has this kind of services that you need.
Yeah, there's a place, there's a campground there that has a car wash in the campground, an RV wash too. And I think that was another thing about Top of the World, is that we expected to come out of that filthy. We saw
other people come out of it filthy, and we
thought, well, we're going to be filthy too.
So lucky we missed the rain. We just kept missing the rain.
It's just a little dusty.
Because when you go on these gravel roads, when it's rained, this micro dust just turns the RV is like completely
Yeah.
solid brown. Like it's like almost an intentional skim coat of light brown.
So we didn't stay at a campground there, but what we did find, Jamie found, was there's a gas station there that if you fill up, you can use their dump station, their water fill, and you can stay in the back lot that they have for free. And so we thought, this is perfect. We're doing an overnight. It was right next to a small grocery store. So what we did was we filled up because we needed to. They had both diesel and regular.
We also got propane there.
We were able to fill our propane. That was a cost, but we were able to fill the propane. So we just topped everything off. And in fact, we filled up our water, dumped our tanks and everything that night. And then our whole family showered that night. And the next morning, the next morning, we went in and we said, we need to fill propane. Is it okay if we fill propane and pay for filling that? May we use your dump station again? Because we didn't want to abuse the service.
Totally
fine, and they were so nice about it. But we didn't just want to assume, and we wanted to be gracious for the fact that we had these, facilities that we could use. So the next day we filled the propane, and then before we headed out, we dumped all of the tanks again. We filled the fresh water right back up and headed out on the road. Jamie and Clay, the night before, actually washed their rig. There is a place at that gas station, too, for a cost to wash your rig as well. So they did that. So
yeah, because we hadn't dumped or filled water since before Dawson City, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we were able to do that in Dawson. I know you couldn't at the campground.
We were in
Dawson City.
Need.
So we were definitely
of showers.
It was time. Right?
Yeah, and I made a reel about this, and so I will this week, once the episode comes out, I will reshare that reel across social media so that you can see what I'm talking about. You can find that as a short on YouTube. I'll post it on the RV Miles podcast YouTube channel, or I'm also going to put it out on the RV Miles Instagram or RV Miles Facebook or RV Miles TikTok. So you can go over and you can look and see what we're talking about when we say do this, and then you get all of these extra amenities built into it as well.
Yeah, I want to throw in here too the road between just past Chicken on to Toke, I believe I believe it starts just past Chicken, is the Taylor Highway. Mm-hmm. And my memory of that is limited, but I believe it was pretty great.
I feel like if my memory is limited and I don't have an opinion on it, nothing amazing or bad happened. And so that's a good thing.
All right, that's our journey along the top of the world highway into Chicken and beyond. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll check the level of our tanks.
We'll be right back.
When I was a kid, one of the best Christmases ever, I remember my dad bringing out a brand new bicycle into the living room when I was like 7 years old. What's the adult version of that? What's the way that you can deliver that best gift ever effect this holiday season? Well, you can still do it with a bike. Electric e-bikes will impress even the hardest person to shop for on your list. There are lots of e-bikes to choose from out there, but there's only one Electric XP, the best-selling e-bike in America. It's the perfect gift for the explorer, the eco-warrior, or the parent on your list, or just as a treat for yourself. And starting at just $749, these e-bikes are friendly on your wallet. Plus, you can get hundreds of dollars in free accessories when you purchase this holiday season at electricebikes.com. That's LECTRICE bikes.com.
Welcome back, and it is time to check the level of our tanks. Okay, Jason, what is in your black tank this week?
Why
What?
Why do brown washcloths exist?
What?
So we have a brown washcloth, or maybe several, and other people do too. So this is not shaming anybody that own brown washcloths.
Wow, why are you coming at the brown washcloth community like this?
I don't understand dark-colored washcloths, whether it be for dishes or washing your body, because you don't know you can't see what's
Are
on
you
them.
so dirty that you need a visual?
Okay, I'm not going to keep this gross, and I'm not going to talk about washing your body, but imagine washing dishes. When you wash dishes and you're scrubbing out a pan or something like that, say you have a white washcloth, you're going to see like some like grease and oil stains on that you're going to rinse the heck out of that washcloth to get it all out. If you have a brown washcloth, you're not getting that visual in scrubbing and rinsing it out.
But the white washcloth becomes stained. And
Yeah,
so
but at
how do
least
you
you can-
know
no.
then that you've actually gotten it out? Now you have a stained white washcloth.
I know.
Your
they
visual
don't get, if you wash them, they don't get stained. Plus, you can use bleach on white. You can't use bleach on anything else.
I am trying real hard to come with you on this journey of brown washcloth
I
dislike.
guarantee you there are
But
going to be comments that brown washcloths are gross, and I'm gonna die on this hill. Brown washcloths are gross, and they shouldn't exist.
You know when they're gross? When you don't wash them and you reuse them. And a brown washcloth, when you're doing dishes, your visual that the thing is clean is the thing you're washing. And then you're using hot water and soap the whole time. And then if you wring it out, as long as you wring it out and the water is running clear, it's not dirty anymore.
I think we need to do an experiment with a lighter color and a darker color
wash more
washcloth.
dishes.
And you need to see. I think I'm going to come up with an experiment.
I mean, just use a loofah.
Come up with an experiment.
Just use a loofah. And then that's what it comes down to.
I like a washcloth. I like putting the washcloth on my face and getting, get really.
I'm sorry.
And all the like the crevices around your nose and behind your ear and all that. It's hard to do with a loofah.
Sure. I just, hey, you know what? It's your black tank and you treat it the way you want to treat it.
Brown washcloths. They're gross.
Just take them on a hay rack ride and off into the sunset go the brown washcloths. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. So, okay. What is in your fresh tank this week? White washcloths?
No, there is snow. There's like 3 inches of snow on the ground. Our first snow of the year here was actually a substantial snow that stuck.
I know.
And I love it. I'm so excited.
It was Saturday morning.
I know you're not the biggest snow fan, but
No, it was magical.
it was beautiful. But also, I love snow. But even if you don't love snow, I think most of us can agree it is way better than very cold rain.
Oh, for sure.
And I really can't stand when there's lots of precipitation and it is between like 32 and 42 degrees. Like that's the zone I'm just not a fan of. I'd rather just be colder and be able to brush this stuff off of me, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's currently like 19 degrees outside right now. We're doing our best not to go outside if we can help it.
It's going to warm up and all melt tomorrow. So
it's going to warm up. It's all going to go away. It was beautiful. I love snowfall. I woke up in that beautiful Saturday morning to the snow coming down, and that I love that. And I think I have gone on record as saying what I don't love is when we get to like February and we have 10 feet of brown, disgusting snow just piling up all over the place. And it's at that point, it's just meh. You're like, I'm so over it if I see one more snowfall. But at the beginning of the year, especially this time of year, it's so nice that it's actual snow and not a bubble machine.
I agree.
I know, it's beautiful.
All right, what is in your black tank this week?
So my black tank, and I'm really frustrated. So I'm gonna talk about my doctor that I'm really frustrated with. I'm not gonna name any names, but I'm black tanking my doctor. Well, she's my ex-doctor now. Like she and I have to part ways because I was sent yesterday for this test that I never should have been sent for, that I felt like I was sent for sort of secretly, backhandedly. I had a well visit recently with my doctor, and I had been talking about some issues I've been having with my hands. Like it's definitely joint issues that I'm having with my hands. And she really didn't want to hear like what I had to say. And I was trying really hard to get her to listen. And she was just very, very much convinced that it was carpal tunnel, even though we had gone down the list together of all of the symptoms of carpal tunnel and who is at risk. And I met none of that criteria, but she was still very, very much convinced. And then after talking to me a little bit more, she was like, oh, maybe it's not. Let's get you in with, to see a rheumatoid doctor. We'll get you over there. We're going to have them take a look and whatever. And so I got a call that had an appointment with the doctor. I thought we were going to go in and maybe talk because I think it might be maybe rheumatoid arthritis or something. There's definitely inflammation. I get there, and what I was scheduled for was a carpal tunnel test. And if you've ever had one of those, that meant for 10 minutes, I sat there, and he spared me. He only did one arm. I was subjected to electric shocks and multiple needle pricks over and over and over. Even though after talking to me, he was like, I'm not quite sure why this was ordered for you, but this is what was ordered for you. Let's go ahead and do it. Does the left hand. And he's like, you have the most perfect nerves of like anyone I have ever seen. Like your nerves are, I have perfect nerves. Let's just make sure the doctor.
You're going to be very proud of that.
I'm very proud. I have perfect nerves.
You're going to make your brother get a test.
Yes.
Just to see who has to show him that you have better nerves.
Yes. I am. I'm going to make everyone in my family go get tested so that we can find out who has the best nerves in the family. He was like, you're very healthy. It's clear that, you eat pretty clean. You must not drink a lot. I giggled. I was like, okay, I just have good nerves. And he's like, we're not even going to do the right hand. Yeah. He's like, there's absolutely no point. So you know what? Black tank to you, ex-doctor, for not listening to me, for wasting my time, for wasting this doctor's time, for not trusting that maybe sometimes the patient really does understand their body. And I would have really have liked to have been able to speak to someone about why I can't basically move my hands in the morning when I wake up. But now I can't because I have to go back to not you and get somebody else to refer me so I can be seen.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I was a little frustrated.
I'm very sorry.
Really frustrated. And I know that not all doctors are like this because I've had some really tremendous doctors along my health journey.
And you've had many other issues with this doctor.
Yes.
It's not just this.
Oh, yeah. This is the same doctor that was like, I only have time to listen to 2 things. If you want to talk to me, I'm no joke.
What does that even mean?
No joke. She said to me the last time I saw her, I only have time to listen to you talk about 2 things. If you need to talk about more than 2, you're going to have to make a follow-up appointment. And I was like, oh, it's so nice to see you too. Okay. Well, what 2 things do I want to talk about today? Not that I was going in with like I didn't like a scroll didn't roll out and me be like, well, let's start with item number 1. I had like 4 things I wanted to talk to her about. I was only allowed to pick 2. All right, there you go.
All right, what is in your fresh tank this week?
Okay, so I have 2 things in my fresh tank. The first I want to talk about is lighting on the Commons. This is an event that we went to here in the Quad Cities.
It is part of what I mentioned at the beginning of the show.
And the reason why I want to talk about it is it's just one example of why I don't necessarily consider the Quad Cities like a mid-sized town like an Omaha or a Minneapolis.
No,
or something.
it's a little smaller.
I consider it a small town with an airport. And what I really appreciated about this particular event, so this is an event they do in John Deere Commons. John Deere is huge in the Quad Cities area. So they have this John Deere Commons, which has like this museum and it has all this John Deere equipment in it that you can go and get on. And oh my gosh, the kids, they can climb into
full size combine inside and you can go up and sit in the cab. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. And there's this lovely little area down there. It's in downtown Moline. And so they have this event where they celebrate lighting the whole Commons. Like they have lights everywhere. But what I'm fresh tanking about this is, let me tell you everything we did. And I want you to keep in mind that everything that I'm about to list was 100% free to the community. Yeah. There was free coffee. There was free cider. There was free hot chocolate. There were free delicious sugar cookies, as many as you wanted, not just free one time, but as many times as you wanted to come up and get a cookie. As long as they had them, you could have them. There was visits with Santa. There was an entire children's section where you could make ornaments and do holiday art. And then they had 2 different balloon artists on site that were making Henry Walked Away with a balloon sword. They had that. They had a jazz band that was playing for most of the event. A really good 3-piece jazz band was going on. They had some characters there for pictures. They had a little picture section set up. They had wagon rides with these gorgeous horses that you could get on. You could ride all the way around the little downtown area and they'll bring you back all of this.
One or two of them was a hay rack.
I know. Two of them was a hay rack. It was amazing. Did we
Sorry.
end up on the hay rack?
I think we did. Yes.
Did we end up on a hay rack? We did.
We didn't get there was like some beautiful
We got the
hand carved wagons that we didn't get on.
No, we got the one that was like, Chuck, bring the back up because we got too many people
and
waiting.
with the lighting, there was fireworks too.
And there was some newscast celebrities got up and
newscasters, this is like you saw, you're on the plaza. There's like a little stage, and the local weatherman gets up and talks.
Yeah,
and then the mayor talks. It was out of a Hallmark movie.
It was, and she was fantastic. And all local children got to be like the elves to Santa, and he was a good
Santa.
Good Santa.
Yeah.
And then the lights come on, and they're playing music, and there's fireworks. All of this was free. Every single thing was free.
There was a time when, because it's sponsored, right?
Yeah.
So there's like several sponsors
course.
that pay for it. There was a time that there was a lot more of this stuff where it's covered by sponsors and there's not admission fees.
No.
There's not like you pay at every station.
But even just like to pay to do the art or to have the ride,
Everything's free.
Everything was free. And I thought that was really lovely. And, the mayor, when she got up and spoke, one of the things I really appreciated was that she was like, we're so glad you all are here, no matter where you've come from. Everyone is welcome. This is not just an event for Moline, but this is an event for the entire community of the Quad Cities. And I really like that, that is built into this event, that it is really for the community at large. And so, they get my fresh tank. So that's one fresh tank. I got a second one, then we're going to move on.
Oh.
I know because everyone's been really curious. I know you all need a fantasy football update, so I just want to give you a fresh tank because this was a really good weekend for me.
He doesn't listen to this podcast.
I don't care that he doesn't listen. So I don't care that he doesn't listen. It is not. Don't act like this for my brother. This is for me.
You're going to get a lot of insight into Abby here.
Yeah. So listen, this weekend I had to play my brother Jason. Okay, my brother Jason and I are only 22 months apart. We are competitive human beings. We're Traybus.
That is
he
an
was
understatement of a century.
Jason is 10-1 in the league. It's infuriating. I'm 8-4 or 7-4. I can't remember exactly what I am. I'm like mid-road. I was like in third or fourth place.
I'm 4-7.
I know, it's rough being you. At the beginning of the weekend, at Thanksgiving, Jason's quarterback just like crushed it. He had Prescott on the Cowboys, crushed it. And Jason just starts trolling. He starts trolling me in the family
Very clear.
thread.
Her brother's name is Jason.
Yeah, J Trey. We'll call him J Trey.
About me.
Yeah. So J Trey starts like just, oh wow, look at this. And all through the weekend, he's like, can I get an update on what's going on with the games this weekend? Ethan, he's texting my son being like, Ethan, you need to give your family an update on what the standings are in the games, because he was projected to win. We roll into last night's game, Bears-Vikings, Monday Night Football. I had DJ Moore. He had two players on the Vikings, can't remember their names, the tight end and I think a running back. Anyway, I beat him. I beat him by 3 points, and it came down to the last 59 seconds, and it was tremendous, and it was glorious, and I was able to take the photo that he had sent on Thanksgiving, like Xing me out and circling him. I was able to send the exact same photo, Xing him out and circling me, and taking the W. And I just know that everybody really wants to know what's going on in fantasy football, because we're getting close to the playoffs. We're getting not the playoffs of the NFL. We don't get to participate in that. All our playoffs have to happen before the actual playoffs. And I'm going to the playoffs. You're going to the consolation game.
I think it's a blessing that I have a losing team, because I did have more points than anybody else in the league this week.
Doesn't mean anything though for him.
But it was also my first win in like 5 weeks.
Yeah, he's going to end up in the consolation game, which is
nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares about spots 5, 6, 7, and 8. What really matters is 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll battle it out for what we call the Trombardi. at our house.
Or what you call the Trumbar.
Oh no, I made fetch happen with this one.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're at. I mean, it's been a few weeks since we've given you a fantasy football update, and I just
it's
know,
very important.
Yeah,
to
it is.
The
This was
RV Miles.
this was a good week for both of us. for RV Miles.
this week's episode of the RV Miles podcast.
You are so boring sometimes. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast today and for celebrating our wins, big or small. We hope you are celebrating some wins this week too. And if you have any questions for Jason and I, you know where to find us. We are over in the RV Miles Facebook group, or if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely leave a comment down below. That's the best way to get a hold of us. And of course, as we roll into the end of 2023, we hope that you remain happy and healthy and you keep logging those RV miles.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.